Hello everyone, we are here today to discuss the poem I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou, and this is for Standard 10 ICSE. Maya Angelou was a black American woman and she used to write about the freedom struggle by the black Americans, and this poem is a significant one in that context. Uh, in this poem, the poet talks about two different birds. One is a free bird and the other is a caged bird. The free bird represents the white American who at that time enjoyed all the freedoms that are possible by a citizen in his country. Whereas on the other hand, the caged bird represents the black American of those times who at that time did not enjoy any of the rights that a citizen or a human being should be able to enjoy. Okay, so now we'll begin the stanza wise explanation, and I'll first read out and then I'll explain. Stanza 1. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind. Here the free bird, the white American bird, is shown to be able to leap on the back of the wind and floats downstream. That means the bird unrestricted and easily floats. He is the opportunities for him are always favorable, like the wind, right? The bird has to do is to leap onto the wind, and the wind is going to carry him. Okay. Till the current ends, a free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays. So here, first of all, the conditions are favorable for him, as the wind is just carrying the bird along without much of his efforts. And once the current of the wind ends, then the bird is free to dip his wings in the orange sun rays. That means his movements are unrestricted, and he simply glides and smoothly goes over and dares to claim the sky. Now this free bird, he has the right to assert himself, to claim the sky, right? He dares to claim the sky. He has the freedom to do so. And the sky here is representative of limitless possibilities for the free bird. Moving on to the second stanza. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. So in this stanza, a bird that stalks down his narrow cage. Now this is about the caged bird. He stalks, that means paces from one end of the cage to the other end of the cage, like a lion paces the cage, right? Same way, the bird stalks down his narrow cage. And how is the cage? It is narrow. There's not much space for movement either. He can seldom see through his bars of rage. Now rage is anger. The caged bird has anger. That means the black man has anger towards the white man. Okay, and he can hardly see through his bars of rage. The feelings of hatred that the black man has developed towards the white man, he can hardly see beyond that, right? Because all his freedom, all his rights, all his possibilities have been curbed. They have been obstructed by the white man. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied. What is the problem? Why is the caged bird angry? Why is he in rage? Because his wings are clipped. That means they have been cut off, and his feet are tied. He cannot move from here to there. He is not free to go anywhere, right? His feet are tied. So he opens his throat to sing. So the only thing that he still has the power to do is to sing. That is, he can still voice his expressions, his emotions, right? He does not have a lot of freedoms. His wings are clipped, his feet are tied. So he opens his throat to sing. But here the question is, what is it that the bird wants to sing about? Coming on to the third stanza. The caged bird sings with fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still. And his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The caged bird sings with fearful trill. Trill is his melodious tune. You know, the bird sings with a trill. That's the melodious tune. But this trill, this melody, it is fearful. Why? Because the caged bird is afraid of harassment or torture or death at the hands of the white man, right? So the caged bird sings with fearful trill of things unknown. Things unknown. What are those unknown things? Unknown freedom, right? Unknown is the possibility of getting some rights like a human being, right? In those days, black Americans were not treated well. They were not treated like proper citizens or like proper human beings. So those things were unknown to them because they have never really experienced them. Okay, so he sings, the caged bird sings fearfully about things that are unknown but longed for still. Even though those things are unknown because they have never experienced them, they still long for those things. That means they still yearn for it, they still want for it. Okay, but his tune is heard on the distant hill. Now this tune which the caged bird is singing fearfully, it still is heard on the distant hill. That means that somebody is listening to this painful song of struggle that the bird is singing. For the caged bird sings of freedom. Why is it heard? Because the caged bird is singing about freedom. Okay, and freedom is something that everybody understands universally. Stanza 4. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and that fat worm's waiting on a dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. Now here again the poet is talking about the free bird. The free bird thinks of another breeze, right? The free bird does not live the same kind of life or lifestyle that the caged bird is living. Okay, he is thinking of another breeze. He has a completely different mindset and another kind of lifestyle, and he thinks of the trade winds soft through the sighing trees. Even though the trees are sighing because of the passing of wind through it, still the trade winds are soft and they bring good luck. You know, trade winds are those winds that bring good luck. Basically, they bring new opportunities and such things. And the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn. And the free bird is thinking about the fat worm, because see, for the white man opportunities are abundant, and the results and the trophies of those opportunities are also like the fat worm, which is sitting over there waiting for the free bird to come and pluck it. Where from? From the lawn. And how is the lawn? It is dawn bright. That means opportunities are always smiling on the free bird. Okay, and he names the sky his own. And this free bird, he calls the sky his own. His own, that means it is his own. It is nobody for him. It is for nobody to share with. It is his and his only. That means the white man was never ready to share his opportunities or his good luck or the fruits of opportunities with the black man. It was only and only for the white man. That is what the free bird was like. Okay, stanza 5. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. But a caged bird, on the other hand, he stands on a grave of dreams. His dreams are dead. Why are they dead? Because he longs for freedom, but he is inside a cage, right? So every time he dreams of being free, but every time his dream dies because he is still in the cage. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His shadow, now here the shadow can be considered to be his almost lost identity. Okay, the shadow is the remains of this lost identity. His identity, the black man's identity as a free man, the black man's identity as a human being, the black man's identity as a proper citizen, that identity is almost lost, and what remains of it can be understood to be the shadow. So his shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. Now the shadow, his remaining soul, his remaining identity, he shouts, he is afraid that these dreams that he has had of freedom will just become a nightmare and they will just die away. So he shouts, the shadow shouts on that. And why does he shout? Why is he afraid? Because his wings are clipped and his feet are tied. That is the reason. Okay, and because of that, what does the cage bird do? So he opens his throat to sing, and that is the reason that the bird sings, because that is the only thing that is still has the power to do, right? He cannot leave the cage, his wings are clipped, his feet are tied, but he still has his throat which he can open and sing about freedom. Stanza 6, the last stanza. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on a distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. Here, these words, these lines are actually repeated. And what is the reason for the repetition? It is for emphasizing, to emphasize. Okay, what is it that the cage bird is singing about? He is singing about the struggle for freedom, and that is something that the cage bird, even though it is still in the cage, it does not give up on. He is singing about his struggle for freedom, which he still yearns for. Okay, so this is the end of the poem. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.